Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back for some more HYME time. Let's go, baby. Today we are going to be breaking down how to make custom koi ponds, livening out the environment around your builds with ponds, scenery, mountains, terraforming, shrubberies, trees, plants. All of that really does add a whole lot to the builds and just makes it look so much better, so much more fleshed out and lived in, lively. And so today we're going to be going over what different blocks I use for the koi pond, kind of the idea behind the build process and what order I do everything to make these beautiful custom ponds. And I hope that you guys all learn a few tips and tricks along the way in this video and appreciate the beautiful artwork that I'm trying to sculpt out here in this awesome 3D block game of Minecraft Bedrock. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and let's get started. Building koi ponds is a really incredible way to flesh out the land around your builds, and so I'm going to be putting it in front of my brand new build of the pale oak cabin. I think that it'll take up a lot of space in the front yard, and it'll also help provide some light source to keep some hostile mobs from spawning around in this area in a natural way. We've got the shaping of the koi pond all laid out. It's not going to be very big, just kind of up off to the side here and tucked up against the base of our cabin so we can look out of our windows and have a nice scenic view. And I love using podzol to line the exterior of the koi pond. It looks like a really great border. After we have our border all lined out with the podzol, we're going to dig out a beautiful hole here in the middle of it all, and we're going to go and gradually work our way deeper and deeper as we get towards the actual center of our koi pond. The reason I picked podzol for the border is because it kind of looks like a block containing a lot of moisture. It's dark, it kind of looks muddy, like a muddy bay, something that you would see in an actual pond in real life. So let's just go on back, and we've got a pretty good amount of surface area to cover here. I'm liking the shaping of it. It looks a little random, but it's still circular. And it gets a little bit skinnier towards the left-hand side here. Yeah, I think the podzol is just probably my favorite block for making the shoreline of waterfronts. But let me know, what do you guys like to do for waterfronts? You could also go for a stony texture look. Sometimes a lot of ponds in real life have a lot of vegetation growing around them because the water harbors a natural habitat for life and plants to grow, so you could have sort of a grassland with a bunch of different flowers or grasses sprouting up in the actual blocks around the pond too, to kind of give it that more vibrant and nature aesthetic feel. But I'm going with podzol just because it looks like a muddy riverbank, so that is my go-to. Then we're going to keep on building away down here, deeper and deeper towards the center area. That way we will have a natural feeling of depth in our pond, which is what we're going for here. And we've also trapped a wandering trader so we can test out how long he can hold his breath for. And, you know, maybe we'll help him out if he gives us some good trades or lowers his prices a little bit. Then we'll kind of drop him a ladder or a rope. He can get his way out, but I'm not so sure about the llamas. Okay, I'm really liking the depth and the terraforming we have going on here, layer by layer going down to the center. And now I'm going to be lining it with lighter blocks, and we'll work our way down and use more dark blocks as we get towards the bottom. So that'll kind of help with the shadow effect of the waterfront being a little bit lighter towards the shoreline, and then the depth will be amplified by the darker blocks as we go down. So for the lighter blocks, I love to use a mixture of cobblestone, prismarine, you know, some different coral blocks. You could throw tuff in there. I'm a big fan of tuff. I didn't use it on this koi pond personally, but it is also a very smoothed out rock block, and it kind of goes really well because water, it causes a lot of erosion, and so it smooths blocks out a lot. So it kind of looks like a sand block almost with the texture on the tuff, So that would also work really well here. You could use sand as well if you kind of want to go for a more beach aesthetic feel. And I'm gonna just section the colors off and have them continue to sprout off of one another as they go downwards a little bit, kind of like the prismarine is touching as it goes down a layer, and then we mix it in with some more of the grays of the coral. I'm doing a lot of dead coral, as you can see, dried out coral for this beautiful pond that I'm working on, and I'm doing that because this is the pale oak manor after all, so I'm kind of using a more muted palette of colors compared to the more vibrant colors I've used on, for example, the Japanese koipond back in the Japanese district. And I think the dried out coral looks really nice, honestly. You can have a whole bunch of different patterns with the variations between them, and the whole entirety of the pond looks really textured, vibrant. Now we've got to just cover our entire pond with some dirt. Honestly, I feel like there has to be a quicker, more efficient way to do this. Let me know, how do you guys go about filling up your koi ponds with water? Because I have no idea what I'm doing. And do you guys love making koi ponds in general, for the aesthetic and the additional details to a build? I really think that customizing the nature and the land around a build really fleshes it out instead of it just being a base sitting somewhere in the open. Doing all of these little extra steps, they don't take too much time, but they add a whole lot more to the scene of the builds. Now that we've replaced every single dirt block with a water block, we're going to go around and just spread our light sources around. So, going to do a variation of different numbered of sea pickles periodically spaced through the koi pond, doing clusters of 4 for maximum brightness, but then we'll do, in between these clusters of 4, some smaller clusters just so we get some differentiation in the detailing here. And then as we dive into our koi pond, I'm gonna waste all of my coral blocks here because it is not placing for some reason, but I find that the closer we get to the shoreline, the higher the chances of the coral actually staying with us and not just evaporating into the air and becoming a wasted resource. Instead of adding to HYME's prosperity, we are trying to maximize profits here and not just donate our coral into the void. So let's get all of these laid out. I'm going for a purple and yellow variation. I feel like the colors work really well together. The yellow is more vibrant, the purple is more cool and calm, and it'll give some very nice detail to the overall color of the pond while we still have our muted stone palette that we were working with. Then we're going to add some texture on top of the surface with some lily pads. We can do some lily pad parkour and hop around, get a little rambunctious like we're a bunch of frogs out here in HYME. And now we add all of our beautiful fish. I got a whole bunch of white fish and grayish and black fish as well, just to kind of keep the more calm and stale palette of the pale oak biome that we're working on here. I did add in a couple Nemo fish though, just for the meme. Marlin is never gonna find his kid. He can look far and wide. He would literally have to do the pelican little journey in the mouth trick and fly over to the pale oak district, a pretty creepy and ominous district of HYME, and take a little deep dive to find his child. I don't think he's got the gadunkas to do it. I'm using some drop leaf and some of these acacia trees. I don't know what they're called, guys. Let me know down below. These purple shrubbery trees. I love purple. Getting some more details down. And here we go. Some scenic views of the koi pond from above. Also textured the border with some fireflies as well. When you get close, the firefly particles start coming to life, flying all around you, brightening up the world even more. Just like all my viewers brighten up my day. But another pro builder tip for more ambience to your builds, just kind of incorporate fireflies around in the nature of the shrubberies or environment around your builds, and then also you can hide them underneath the floors of your build so that way they're flying around and giving some ambient particle effects, which are always nice. But thank you so much for watching this video, and like and subscribe to be part of the HYME Empire.